this is something that when I was a kid and I learned this, I don't know, a lot of things broke my brain as a kid, but I think I had the same thought that like the ancient Greeks had when they were figuring out the atom, and they just thought, well, I can keep cutting this and cutting this and cutting this, and at a certain point, do I have one of them?
Yeah.
Right? But the whole idea that no matter how much you break the Eucharist, every piece of the Eucharist is equally, like if you had like the big one that they have the presentation
Mm-hmm.
of, like that they use in Mass, as opposed to like a smaller one. Jesus is not more in the bigger one than the smaller one,
Right.
right? And he's also not even more in the smaller one than in a fragment that fell off the smaller one
Right.
when you broke it. When I tell you, I obviously took that to its absurd conclusion there.
Well,
And
it still breaks my brain to think about
yeah,
it.
it does, because the thing is that like at a certain point, like this is where I thought, I'm just like, at a certain point, this is made of flour,
Yeah.
right? And like you can kind of imagine 1 grain of flour, and like if you break it, like at a certain, like you could go on a microscopic level, is that like you'd probably have to break like a molecule. You know what I mean? And then like at that point, like it's not homogeneous anymore, right? Now you're breaking like one piece of like glucose off of a larger starch, and you know what I mean?
When did you first hear about this?
I remember hearing about this in when I was, it wasn't even in the class, but it was like I remember hearing it maybe when I heard another class go on, when I was an altar server,
Okay, that makes sense.
right? Because
So you're little.
I was probably like 9 or 10.
That's crazy.
I probably wasn't thinking glucose, but I was probably thinking, I knew what molecules were, and
Yeah.
I thought about that.
Yeah.